Welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Job. I'm Ron Worley.
And I'm Josh Fullenweider, and we're here to rock your...
Fuck your job.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Job. Said it right that time.
Yeah, episode 4.
It's episode 4. All right, we're moving right along. Same clothes again.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, we know that.
Yeah,
Change
we
the
don't wear
topics.
these every day.
No.
We're just filming a bunch at once.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
This month.
Yeah. So today we're kind of talking about the importance of advisors and supporters, who your crowd is, who your ride or die is, right?
Yes, your ride or die.
So,
I always call it my round table, and I try and keep 5 or so. We say 5 or 10, right? People in that circle, and for me, I have a couple of ride or die people. For that, anybody that doesn't understand that term, I can basically say anything I want to in the world, and they're going to support me, no matter what I've done or where I've gone or something I've said. They got my back.
Yeah.
You need 1 or 2 of those for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then you got your spiritual advisors. Sometimes it's not spiritual. It's for me it's values, which I call spiritual. And then you've got, what are a couple that you use?
So
lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, you got your lawyers, your accountants. I don't have a lawyer that I talk to. Well, I've got friends that are lawyers, but I don't talk to them about business stuff all the time. Yeah. So I've also got a really good accountant. It's not like I meet with her weekly or anything like that. Right. So I'm really happy with the relationship I have with her, because I did have one accountant and we just never really clicked. We just always seem to have different perspective on things. But the one I've got now, we understand each other. She really understands my business. I will say one of the things I've struggled with since I left my job was I had a lot of people that I talked to on a daily basis about business things at my place of employment. So because I was a lender, I would talk to a couple of the other lenders about business stuff that I was working on, my rentals, business opportunities that I was looking at, that sort of thing. So my circle shrank when I left my job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I still go and I still talk to them, but not near as often. Mm-hmm. So, my ride or die is pretty small too. There's just a handful of people on it, so you're on it. So my wife, of course, is on it. I think it's super important that your significant other is part of that ride or die. You should definitely have somebody who's always got your back.
So what do you do if you did something or need to talk to somebody about your wife?
Usually, honestly, so this is going to sound
lame. What did you do, Josh? This
is going to sound lame. We have such a good relationship that we can talk to each other about anything. Okay. So it's not always pleasant, but usually we get to this, there's a lot of times where it's like, well, you did this. Well, I didn't mean that, you did this. And then, 20 minutes later, it's like, well, that upset me because of X. So we really can talk to each other about anything.
So if you need relationship advice, go to him.
But we were actually friends and then best friends before we started dating.
Yeah.
So we had a strong relationship before we ever became romantically involved. And I think that changed.
Commendable.
Yeah.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah. So you probably have more of a perspective on this. What happens when you have an issue with the missus?
Yeah, so I have my ride or dies, and I have my wife, and she has her own category. So she's at my round table, but for me, my ride or die is I have like a couple, and then whereas you fall into like my business friendship. I call them all friendships on the round table. So my business friendship, and we talk a lot of personal stuff. But there's things that my ride or die knows about me from childhood. Yeah. So you know, that's a long, deep relationship, and I can take anything to them and they wouldn't judge me. Now, my wife, on the other hand, she's in a category on her own, and there's no comparison, there's no duplication, and I just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's fair. So, getting back to the ride or die and your business advisors,
Yeah.
you know, we talked lawyers, accountants. Who else do you think people need around them and supporting them?
Well, you definitely need a mentor, especially if you're trying new things. Like, I have a mentor for being an author.
Okay.
I have a mentor for bail bonds. I have a mentor for real estate. And you may not always call him, but it is somebody you can talk to about the specific area that you're that you're working in. So, but outside of that, I think it's a good idea to have lawyers. I think it's a good idea to have accountants. I also think it's a good idea to keep a string of professionals, like, for instance, like the house cleaner. You know, she's not the one you confide in, but she helps your life run. So she is a confidant of sorts.
And you trust her in your house alone.
Right. I put lots of cameras up. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
You're like,
exactly.
I pay her $100 a week, and magically another $200 disappears out of my wallet.
We understand.
That's the relationship. No.
So I think anything where you might have a struggle or a question, you should have an advisor or find a mentor. You know, my mom's been my mentor at times. Still is my mentor for bail bonds. Anytime I have an issue that I can't really have to work it out with somebody, she's the only one I can trust to go to and work it out with them. So
That's fair.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess one of the struggles that I have had is finding the spiritual advisors.
Yeah.
I've never really clicked on with churches as much.
Right.
I mean, I've gone to church. I enjoy church. I love the message, but I've never clicked with somebody
Right.
there. So anyway, that's one of the ones that I've struggled with.
Change that. I'm with you 100%, and I had to change that over to the spiritual is part of it's mind, body, spirit, right? We want all those healthy, and my spirit is only healthy if my values are in check. And so my spiritual advisor is actually Jim Hensel, who is the guy that taught me how to put values in my life.
Okay.
And I call him spiritual advisor because my spirit feels much better when I'm done talking to him.
Okay.
We don't ever talk about religion. Ever.
Okay, that's fair.
Even though he's one of the most spiritual guys legitimately that I know, he doesn't bring it up.
Okay. So if somebody's wanting to, looking around saying, hey, I want to start a business, and they're looking around, first of all, should they look in their own friends for advisors?
So that's kind of hard. You got to build a relationship with people, right? And so I get all the time people, I was just telling my mentee this today, I probably get asked to coffee 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
And that's truly somebody trying to build a relationship with me and me with them. And those are so if you don't have somebody in your field that you can use as a mentor or a friend or in your circle, seek them out and buy them lunch, buy them coffee, whatever, and trying to have a conversation to start that relationship. It doesn't take much for a guy to want to talk about himself. So
We're doing it right now.
right. So
How many hours you got out there, guys?
yeah. So buy the motherfucker some coffee and let him talk. And, and you'll learn a lot.
Yeah. One thing, so I just started talking to a guy, and super fascinating businessman, and one thing that he brought up, and we just we'd met a few times, we connected on the phone the other day and had a good conversation. He told me that what he'd like to do is add me to his quarterly call list.
Sure.
So I never really had a formalized system, but I really like the idea of being like, hey, I haven't talked to this person in at least 90 days. I need to give them a call.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I'm really considering doing, is starting my own quarterly call list. I know you and I have coffee frequently and see each other half the time anyway. So,
Right.
but I'm not worried about missing you for 90 days. I'm
Right.
sure we'll see each other.
Right.
But you know, there's
people.
definitely people. I'm like, yeah, I haven't talked to that person in 90 days, and I still value their input and the mentorship that they provided. When I was in banking, I had a really good relationship with my mentor at the first bank that I started at, and I still go to that bank occasionally just to connect with him. We've had lunch a few times, but there have been a few times where it's been like, I let this go for 6 months and I didn't see him, and I really should have. So,
Right.
but it's all that relationship building.
So why is it so important to keep, just for our audience, if you fall out of touch with somebody, what's the problem with that?
So for me, and I'm the worst offender, I really am. I get busy. And I'm always concerned that me being busy makes other people feel less valued.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to start the quarterly call list as a way to show people that hey, you're still important to me, even though we don't talk as much as we used to. Now I've got a few in my ride or die circle. So my cousin Brian, I could call him up and talk about whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he'd talk about business with me, even though that's not his thing. He's got his own career that he's really happy with. But you know, I can talk to him about issues in my marriage if I want to. Can talk to him about a weird growth on my back if that happens.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, let me send you a Snapchat of this thing that's growing out of my back. That's coming, Brian. I hope not.
Impotency.
I didn't go there. So yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I've struggled with, is continually building those relationships and maintaining those relationships.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to maintain them. If we're going to go back to business and not the life arc stuff,
Yeah.
if you go back to sheerly business, these are all your customers someday. Mm-hmm. And if you don't keep up those relationships, can't call upon them when you open your business.
Yeah. Customers, friends. I mean, sometimes it all just blends together.
Sure.
So, I mean, you and I first met when you were running Max Muscle. Well,
Right.
Aaron was running Max Muscle.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of met, is that we ended up working out with Aaron and buying products through Max Muscle.
And I think that's exactly what Aaron did, was brought you into the workout group.
Yeah, which is a perfect example of getting a group of people together, not necessarily to talk business, but with a similar goal.
Right.
And you're all there supporting each other.
Exactly. And I think if you can not talk about business while you're having those sessions, it's even better. It strengthens the tie. And then all of you guys would come and use our products too. Because you were friends with us on the side, you would use our products. We always want to be able to call on our friends.
And you were not the cheapest either.
No, and we're not the cheapest.
So,
you're right. And that's how we believe that business is about relationship.
Yeah.
And so I love your idea of quarterly call list, because I fall out of touch with people. And then you go, oh yeah, and then you call them and you have coffee, and then you don't see them for a year again.
Yeah.
But every time we want to start a business, we hit them up.
Yeah, it's like,
feels
hey,
a little
it's self-serving.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm starting a new business. Let's go have coffee so you can buy a product from me.
Yeah, so good on you. I think we'll start that too.
So for a couple, Rebecca and I tried a couple of MLMs, which are multi-level marketing, Amway type of thing.
Yep. Been there.
A couple of times that those were businesses that we definitely failed at, because we just didn't buy into the whole culture that they were promoting.
Yeah.
But one of the main things that makes those successful and that those really thrive on is relationships. They build strong relationships amongst themselves. So your boss or the person who sponsors you into one of those is typically one of your friends.
Yeah.
Their sponsor is one of their friends. You're going to bring in your friends, and you're going to share in this experience together. Whether you make money or not, that's
Right.
kind of up to you and how many people you can bring in with you. But yeah, that's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like self-fulfilling
Sure.
group.
Right.
So
Yeah, and you know, I've been in those too, and it turns your mind into, every time you meet someone new, they're a dollar.
pitching.
Yeah.
You're pitching.
And it's not a good look. It
No.
doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I just met you, and this might be crazy.
I've got an opportunity for you. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I think the worst time, I was in Equinox back in 1995, and we used to go roam the malls looking for people that we could snag up. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So
Not that they're bad or anything, because I actually have some people in them that I know today, but that's not what we're saying.
well, yeah. And when
just
I was
not
in,
for us.
Yeah, when I was in Amway, I loved the product.
Yeah,
I just didn't like the model.
right.
So
I didn't like begging off my friends and family.
yeah.
Didn't like
So, but going back to what we were saying about building, we're getting way off topic.
Sorry.
But what we were saying about relationships and your support group, who else is in your support group? I mean, you talked about your wife, you talked about lawyers, accountants, advisors. Is there anybody, and you've talked about your business roundtables.
Yeah.
So,
you know, my brother, family is a good one to pull from for some. My brother is a good support group, and there's certain things I'll take to him.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things I'll take to my mother. There's certain things I'll take to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you being in my support group is more like, we brainstorm a lot, and we come up with ideas like this.
Yeah.
And you tell me your ideas, and I go, yeah.
and then we tell our wives, and
Yeah.
they're like, "That's stupid."
yeah, and the truth comes out. So
Yeah.
here we are. But you know, I think it can be anything you want it to be. I don't think there's any one person that wants to hear it all.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need somebody. You need different people that are we're all consumed by ourselves, anyways. You need somebody you can share and hear back, and you guys click, and it can be in any aspect of your life.
Yeah. So I guess my thought for everybody that's out there is, chances are you know what area of your life you're lacking in.
Yeah.
Is it spiritual? Is it friendships? Is it business? For a lot of us that are participating in the Jobless Legion, it's business, because that's what we're kind of focused on.
Right.
So, you know, I'd encourage anybody, you know, today, tomorrow, this week, go out, find a new advisor. It might be somebody you know already,
Yeah.
and you just, hey, let's have coffee. I want to talk some stuff over with you, that sort of thing. Learn more about your business that you're in, that sort of thing. So I'm always looking for more people to talk to especially about business, because I'm a nerd. I'm not gonna lie. I can talk about business all day long.
You're an
But
absorber. You like to
Yeah.
learn.
Anyway, that's my encouragement for everybody out there is go
Yeah.
find an advisor, whether it's and if, you know, for me, a spiritual advisor, the best ones I had were not affiliated with a church, kind of like you with Jim, but mine, they were involved in church, and it was discussions about religion, but they weren't pastors, they weren't deacons or anything like that. They were just spiritual themselves, and I could talk to them like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Why has God put this in my life right now?
Right.
And I could talk to them about that sort of thing. So
It's interesting with spiritual advisors, not mine, but the sense of the word, the idea behind it, is that they can actually turn everything in your life into a God moment.
yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I think we're about out of time, and we've
Yep.
talked this to death. So
and someone's knocking on the door.
So we gotta go.
We're out of here. Join us on Facebook at The Jobless Legion or subscribe to our YouTube channel and like, comment, and share.
So that we can get the message out to aspiring entrepreneurs just like you.
Thank you.
Fuck your job.